Our subject for today is English for grade 5, quarter 3, week 3. Good morning, grade 5 learners. How are you today? I hope that you are happy just like me. I am Teacher Basil and I'll be here to guide you throughout this module. Today, you will go through an adventure to help you understand text types according to purpose, which is to describe. Moreover, as you work on the exercises, you will be able to distinguish text types that describes and identify the appropriate describing words in a sentence. I know that you are ready to learn. So what are you waiting for? Bring out now your paper or notebook, ballpen, and your self-learning module. Let's try to answer the first activity to check what you already know. By the way, did you bring your module with you? Now, open it on page 2 and let's start.
Why do we need to learn text types according to purpose? We need to learn text types because it helps children organize their thoughts, especially on how to describe, retell, or report on a particular topic or ideas. Let's have the activity. Choose and encircle the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. Text that blank give details about a person, place, or thing. Letter A, describe. Letter B, persuade. And letter C, entertain. Number 2. Which of the following is not among the 5 senses? A. Touch. B. Sight. C. Digest. Number 3. Tiny is a small and weak ant. What sense was used to describe the ant? A. Smell. B. Sight. C. Taste. Number 4. When you describe, you give a vivid description of the characteristics or features of something using blank. A. Nouns. B. Verbs. C. Adjectives. Number 5. The air is gently blowing in the breeze. What sense was used to describe the breeze? A. Nose. B. Ears. C. Touch. Let's check your answer. These are the answers. Number 1. Letter A. Number 2. Letter C. Number 3. Letter B. Number 4, letter C, and number 5, letter C.
The 3 various text types according to purpose are: first, to inform; second, to persuade; and the third one is to entertain.
You have previously learned that there are various text types according to purpose. Read the following and write if the purpose of the author is to inform, to persuade, or to entertain. Number 1. A manual on how to operate a printer is blank. The answer is to inform. Why? It is because a manual gives information on how to operate a printer. Number 2. A speech of the principal on the use of textbooks instead of modules for distance learning will take effect this coming 2022-2023. What is your answer? The answer is to persuade. Why? A speech of the principal on the use of textbooks instead of modules convinced many teachers and learners. Number 3. The story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The answer is to entertain. Why? The story of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs can entertain the readers because it is just a fantastic story.
After reading the selection, were you able to imagine what a tarsier looks like, even if you haven't seen it or had a picture of it? I know that you will say yes because you might have seen them already in the television or internet. But for those who did not see it, the picture will be found in your module. Now that you recalled already your previous lesson, let's connect the new lesson from the previous. Read the selection and answer the questions later.
Take a look at the picture of this animal. What is this animal? This is a tarsier. Read the selection. Tarsiers have extremely large eyes and ears, and long tail and hind legs. All these features are essential for the successful life in the treetops. Tarsiers are active during the night and spend most of their life on trees. They have the largest eyes compared to the body size of all mammals. What animal is being described in the selection? Where do they spend most of their lives? When are they active? And how are their eyes described? The answer for number 1 is a tarsier. Number 2, they live on trees. Number 3, tarsiers are active during the night. And number 4, they have the largest eyes compared to the body size of all mammals. The purpose of the selection that you read is to describe. It described the tarsier, which is a very peculiar animal that is found in Bohol, Philippines. Texts that describe give details about a person, place, or thing. They appeal to the 5 senses and create pictures in the mind. The senses such as sight, touch, smell, hearing, and taste give the reader a mental image of an object or event. After reading, you can create a mental image of what was described in the text. Basically, its purpose is to describe. When you describe, you give a vivid description of the characteristics or features of something using adjectives. Example: tarsiers have extremely large eyes and ears. They have long tails and hind legs. You can also give details like the following. When you describe or you're going to give details, you must have to consider of the following. If it is describing, if you are going to describe a place, try to imagine the location. Example, man-made world. You're talking about the buildings, the vehicles, and the like. And also natural world. Examples, the trees, mountains, beaches, and others. Another imaginary world, like examples, flying houses, humans underwater, and other examples. Let's have activity 1. Read the sentences and pick out 4 examples of text that describe. Write the letter of the correct answer. The waves crashed and danced along the shore, moving up and down in a graceful and gentle rhythm like they are dancing. That is letter A. Letter B. The painting was a field of flowers with deep and rich blues and yellow atop vibrant green stems that seemed to beckon you to reach right in and pick them. Letter C. When someone invents something, that is only the beginning. Human beings all over the world try to make inventions based on what they need. For letter D, for letter C, when someone invents something, that is only the beginning. Human beings all over the world try to make inventions based on what they need. For letter D, his deep and soulful blue eyes were like the color of the ocean on the clearest day you can ever imagine. Letter E. The soft fur of the dog felt like silk against my skin, and her black coloring glistened as it absorbed the sunlight. reflecting it back as a perfect, deep, dark mirror. You're done with the activity, so take a look at your module and check the correct answer. These are the correct answer. Letter A, letter B, letter D, and letter E. Let's move on to the assessment 1. Read the passage and copy the 5 sentences that describe. This is the passage that you're going to read. Tiny was a very small ant. He was so small and weak that he was teased by the other ants. He could not carry his food because he was so small. But Tiny refused to be put down by others, so he worked hard to improve. He was able to encourage others because of his sunny and cheerful outlook in life. Tiny became stronger and able to move faster for he tried hard. Tiny was able to let others follow his good example. The possible answer that you're going to choose, these are the 5 sentences that would be. Number 1, Tiny was a very small ant. Number 2, he was so small and weak that he was teased by the other ants. Number 3, he could not carry his food because he was so small. Number 4, he was able to encourage others because of his sunny and cheerful outlook in life. Number 5, Tiny became stronger and able to move faster for he tried hard.
Text that describe give details about something. They appeal to our 5 senses and create pictures in the mind. You can create a mental image of what was described in the text. Basically, its purpose is to describe. Are you ready now for the last activity? To check if you really understood the lesson, this will be your last activity.
Next activity. Fill in the blanks. Choose your answer from the box below. These are the choices. 5, text, senses, mental, and describe. Number 1. Blank that describe give details about a person, place, or thing. Number 2. They appeal to the blank senses and create pictures in the mind. Number 3. The blanks such as sight, touch, smell, sound, and taste give the reader a mental image of an object or event. Number 4. After reading, you can create a blank image of what was described in the text. And number 5, basically, its purpose is to blank. These are the answer. So number 1, the missing word is text. Number 2, 5. Number 3, senses. Number 4, mental. And number 5, describe. Next activity, complete the paragraph by adding descriptive words. Choose your answers from the words in the box. Various, free, beautiful, children, tall, and excited. Anna loves to go to the park. It is a very blank park. You can see blank fountains and attractions. She likes to spend her blank time there. She can walk, go on a boat ride, or have a picnic. There are a lot of blank trees in the park. She is always blank to visit the park and have a good time with her family. Next activity. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. I think this is the post-assessment. I could hear the distant sound of the pots clattering in the kitchen as Mother started cooking breakfast for us. The sense used by the writer to describe the clattering of pots is blank. A. Touch. B. Hearing. C. Taste. Number 2. Text that blank give details about a person, place, or thing. Letter A, describe. Letter B, inform. And letter C, explain. Number 3. The glow in the dark stars pasted on the ceiling gave an appearance of a starry sky. The mental image that the writer wishes to convey was A. Starry night, B. Dark sky, and C. Moonlit sky. Number 4. The air is gently blowing in the breeze. What sense was used to describe the breeze? A. Smell. B. Hearing. C. Touch. Number 5. Tiny is a small and weak ant. What sense was used to describe the ant? A. Taste. B. Sight. C. Smell. Number 6. Our trip to the mountains was like going to a paradise. We saw a lot of trees and the view from the top was amazing. The writer described the location as A. Man-made world, B. Natural world, and C. Imaginary world. Number 7. Her hands were like soft, velvety petals. The sense used to describe her hands was blank. A. Sight. B. Touch. C. Hearing. Number 8. Which of the following is not among the 5 senses? A. Touch. B. Sight. C. Digest. Number 9. The beach is the perfect place to go during summer. The air is warm, but the water is cool and fresh. If the water is cool and fresh, how did the writer describe the air? A. Hot. B. Dry. C. Warm. When you describe, you give a vivid description of the characteristics or features of something using A. Nouns, B. Verbs, C. Adjectives. describe about how you feel since the start of the pandemic. And write your answer on a sheet of paper. Thank you.
Now you're done with your module. I hope that you've learned much from our lesson. So this ends our lesson. I hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.